working with your spouse? What tips and tricks do you have for that?
Well, it wasn't pretty in the beginning. I'm not going to lie. We were battling and jockeying for position. I remember Eric walking into my office one day going, I want $5,000 for this investment. I'm like, yeah, okay. And he was like, no, I'm serious. And it was a battle.
Yeah.
But then we just realized I was just too exhausted. I couldn't handle everything he was doing plus what I was doing, especially trying to build the business. Mm-hmm. So we just decided we would play off each other's strengths. Luckily for us, my strengths are his weaknesses and his strengths are my weaknesses. So we were able to do that. And honestly,
welcome to Life Changing Money, a podcast all about one of the most taboo topics in the world, money. I'm your host, Barbara Strehans, and we're going behind the scenes on business owners' journeys to money, success, and wealth. Let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Life Changing Money. I'm so excited because we have another tax strategist here today, Rabecca. Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you.
One of my core values is collaboration over competition. And so just having another tax strategist here is so fun. But maybe tell the people how you started your first business. Was it an accounting firm, your first business? Or
Yes, it was, because I'm the baby of an Italian family, 2 older brothers. And I was the only one that went into the business because so they're so much older than me that my mom was a hairstylist with her own business. And my dad was an enrolled agent. And so I either had to, on Saturdays during tax season, I either had to hang with my mom in her salon or my dad in the accounting firm. And I was like, my mom, that was old school hair salon when things smelled bad.
Perms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nope. So I stayed in the accounting side. I just started answering phones. Then I graduated from that to, I was 12 when I started. And then I graduated to payroll and then bookkeeping and then tax. And then I ran the firm. And then I graduated from college and just knew it wasn't going to work out. So I left.
Working with dad.
Yes.
Or the family business. It's so hard.
It's brutal.
So you left and started your own?
I did. The family didn't talk to me for years, but I did. I hung my shingle. My husband came into the business as a financial planner. So we were doing accounting and financial planning side by side with no net. And it was really scary because I didn't have family support either. So it was do or die. There was no chance for failure at all. And we made it work. I mean, obviously, we did okay. So
yeah,
here we are.
I think there's so much to be said when you cut the cord and there's no other option. It's just well, it has to work now.
Yeah, free falling. Honestly, I think that we've talked about it too in the past, and we just feel as though we perform our best when we're in that, when your back's against the wall like that.
Yeah. Well, it's good you and your husband kind of are on the same page about that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are different and have different personalities.
I know. A lot. I remember calling him saying, so I quit. I handed him my key, and it was his birthday, actually. I didn't know what was going to happen on the other end of the phone there. And he was like, great, let's go celebrate. Because it was a toxic situation. So it needed to happen.
What was the most surprising thing when you started your firm about being a business owner? Different than just running your dad's firm?
The mistakes I was going to make along the way that terrified me. That happened. We all make them, but we rebounded. They weren't so bad that I couldn't fix it, but it was very scary because I just felt like I didn't have anyone to bounce off of. And back when I came through, it was still very male dominated. And the only person I could bounce anything off of was my accounting teacher in high school. She was one of the first graduates from my alma mater, which is Bryant University, as a female graduate. But she was a school teacher. So she wasn't in the game current. So I really didn't have anyone. And that I felt alone because not everyone is a collaborative. They all look at you like competition, so they don't want to help.
Yeah.
I had one mentor that did. He actually lives here. I got to see him while I've been here. So
that's good.
Yeah.
How did you start getting your first clients for the listeners out there? How tips and tricks on scaling?
So my first clients came from Eric, actually, because he was already in the financial planning field. So he just started handing off personal income tax returns to me. I didn't have software. So I was like, okay, we have to purchase software. But scaling happened mostly for us back when we started over 30 years ago by referral. I mean, we did have a billboard up on a very busy highway.
Oh.
And it went way against the grain for the industry. It was plastered, not your average stuffed suits.
Yes.
And we were in suits. I mean, we looked really good, but we were laughing at each other. It was a candid that we had done from a photo shoot. And the irony was that I was getting calls from other CPAs telling me that I was an insult to the industry. My answer was, no, I just have your clients. But I think it was mostly referral. And that was a really big piece that helped us way back when.
A billboard. Another one of our clients has a ton of billboards in North Carolina. She's a real estate agent, and her branding is like hot pink. Oh, and so everyone knows her like hot pink billboards. I really think maybe we're onto something. We need some billboards.
Honest, it was pretty surreal driving by it, seeing yourself up on a billboard. But
are those things expensive?
Back then it was. We contracted for, back then, I don't want to date myself, Barbara.
Well, you did say 30 years ago.
So probably very close to that. It was about $5,000 a month. And we contracted for,
wow,
I think we had to contract for 6 months. Oh, yeah.
It'd probably be what, 30 grand a month now?
I think so. I think I've seen them about 15,000 up to 30, depending on where it is and what highway, street, whatever population.
Okay, so you've also sold that company,
I have.
Which is so cool. Do you tell people like, I've exited a company? I would tell everyone.
Yeah, it makes me feel good that I was able to sell that. Well, the irony was that I bought my dad's business after the fact.
Okay, so you started your own firm.
I did.
And then you bought your dad's and brought it into yours?
I did. I bought his firm and the infrastructure. He had 5,000 square foot building and a very beautiful road. So Eric and I bought it and retired him.
How full circle is that?
It was.
Yeah.
It was bittersweet, but it was a little hard because I trusted and I shouldn't have, because the revenue was not what he said it was.
Oh no.
So thank God our firm was successful enough to absorb that. But we did turn around and we sold it. I had a tragic accident that happened and I had just been teeter-tottering on maybe we should just retire, do something else.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like not that I didn't like how it was set up, but it was set up more old school with bookkeeping and tax prep and just a little bit of tax planning. So it was more of an old school kind of business. But back in the day, I feel like that's what it mostly was.
Yeah.
And so we were still cutting edge with that. But I just had this feeling that I was correcting papers like a teacher, doing the reviews and meeting the clients. But we scaled to such a degree that like I kind of was out of it, except for some meetings in front. And then I added an accident working out, of all things, my favorite thing to do. I lost the vision in my left eye. So from that, I just said to Eric, I'm like, look, this sounds so cliche, but I lost my sight, but gained my vision. And we need to get rid of this. Like we need to sell this right now. Like I'm just not. So we sold it and package bundled. We sold the firm to somebody else. We thought we were going to package bundle, but we sold the firm to somebody else. And then we sold the building to an attorney. And then we just moved to Florida. Came down from the Northeast and moved to Fort Lauderdale. Got to Fort Lauderdale and somebody asked what we did for a living. Like, they're like, oh, what do you do? And I was like, well, I mean, I own other businesses too, but I didn't know what to say. My identity is CPA.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm a CPA. And then all of a sudden, everybody has a tax question, right?
Yeah.
They all want to pick your brain. And it just evolved from there. And then we went back into business. But I said to Eric, we're going to pick and choose. We're going to design this business completely different so that it's more fun. And we get to have fun with people versus the minutia that we were in before.
That quote you said was so good. I want people to hear it again.
What is it?
I lost my sight, but I gained my vision.
Yeah.
Wow, that needs to be like everywhere. That's so good.
Yeah, it was a tough time, but it was kudos to scaling a business because I lived in Rhode Island and needed Boston for my care. I needed the care there. I was there every single week my care was probably 12 months so that I didn't actually get worse, right? And they fixed it to the best of their ability. and did all the things. But my team, if I didn't have a scaled team, I either would have lost my business or not been able to get the care. So that's the importance of it, of building the business the right way.
So for those listening, you need to have a backup plan, which is part of why you need to scale and delegate and have the team as well, because you can't just be like a party of one and hope for
the best.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way. It takes a village.
For sure. What about working with your spouse? What tips and tricks do you have for that?
Well, it wasn't pretty in the beginning. I'm not going to lie. We were battling and jockeying for position. You know, I remember Eric walking into my office one day going, I want $5,000 for this investment. I'm like, yeah, okay. And he was like, no, I'm serious. And it was a battle. Yeah. But then we just realized like I was just too exhausted. I couldn't handle everything he was doing plus what I was doing, especially trying to build the business. Mm-hmm. So we just decided we would play off each other's strengths. And luckily for us, my strengths are his weaknesses and his strengths are my weaknesses. So we were able to do that. And honestly, like so many people say to me, I don't know how you work with him. Like, how do you work with your spouse? I'm like, how do you not? Like, I didn't marry him to be away from him 14, 15, 16 hours a day. Yeah. We do everything together. He's my guy.
That's how I feel too. But it's like having those clear roles, I think, is the biggest thing. And like where people get hung up is when you are fighting for like the same position or just like stepping on each other's toes. But if you both do like separate things, it can actually be really fun because they get it. Like they're in the business and then like celebrating the cool things, they understand more.
Yes. I mean, can we bring up the council?
Yes, go for it.
So being there brought up so many things. And one of them was you talking about it and then Tracy talking about how as female business owners, we're in our masculine all the time. And I kind of knew it. But then when you call us out on things, not directly, but indirectly. And so we had a conversation about it today. And I was like, Barb was saying this, Tracy was saying this. And he was just like nodding along. And I'm like, I'm really sorry for when that happens. And we need a code word. Oh, yeah. Like when that's happening, just tell me. Because sometimes I don't know when you go into your masculine. I think I go into my masculine phase for a minute. If I'm feeling pressure and stress and like frustration, I'm just like, just give it to me. I'll just do it, and then I'm stepping on somebody's toes or making something uncomfortable. So, and he agreed. He was like, yeah, that's when that happens. And I just step back because it's just not worth it. And then he gets upset. And so, I think that's the biggest part. It's just knowing each other's roles and really respecting the roles and each other and that they can handle it. Like you said the other day, he just goes off and buys property. He does his thing and you have access to the numbers. He's not going to do anything without you knowing, but trust.
We just have immense trust for each other that we're both working towards the same goal. And no one's perfect. Like both of us have made mistakes and we will make mistakes, but we're still
navigating
for sure. Yeah. You mentioned the council, but then I was like, how did you first find me? You were at Minted, but how did you get to Minted?
No, I found you I was looking for someone who had more in-depth knowledge on a couple of tax strategies that I really wanted to penetrate. And Tom Wheelwright came up. He's Rich Dad, Poor Dad's CPA. And I went to something of his in Utah and dove deep. And then I think from when I was looking for him, you populated on Instagram. Cool. Yeah. And then I found you. And then I went way back to look at some of your reels, like before you started talking to camera with you and your COO. And I just died because I was like, you know what? Like she's not your average stuff suit either. And I absolutely love that.
Oh, I need to have Crystal record with me again. She's the best.
Oh my God. I just thought you guys were just so beautiful. And I'm like, but look how fun they are too. Like who wouldn't want to work with them? I love that. And I think that the other thing that was so attractive to me was that you're a self-made female in business. Just love to support. The council came up and I was just so intrigued. And I was like, we started the new boutique firm. I've been in maybe 3.5 years ago. And it's just been growing without any kind of marketing or anything, just referral and that sort of thing. But last tax season, we got into tax season and Eric and I were like, literally, we were keystroking every single thing. And I was like, I did this 30 years ago. I'm not doing this now. So we have to make a decision. What are we doing? Are we going forward or are we pulling back? And we decided to go forward. And I just said, look, I know how to scale, but I just think that I need somebody to put like a noose around my neck and say, here's where we're going. And you're just going to do this. And I need the accountability. And to be surrounded by other female entrepreneurs was like another thing. So that was how I stumbled on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
and your husband was at Minted, right?
Yeah. So you gave me the ticket and then we bought his ticket.
I'm always curious
Yeah.
for husbands when their wives are just like, oh yeah, I'm going to drop this amount, this big investment in this group. Did you guys have a conversation about it?
Oh, we had a big conversation about it because I do things at 5 a.m.
Okay.
So I get up early. I'm usually up at 4:45, make my coffee, my Italian coffee. I sit down and that's like when my brain can be clear because no one else is up. Like the house is quiet. And so that's when I start like looking at different things. And that's when you populated and I filled out the information. And I was waiting for you to get back to me to tell me if this would be a conflict and what have you. And then I mentioned it to Eric and I said, I don't really know the costs associated with this yet, but here's what I'm doing. He's like, all right, I don't think you need this, but if you want to do it, entertain it, figure it out. And then you and I were going back and forth and I figured the cost out. And so I was like, all right, I don't know how to land this. I got to land this plane, so I just mentioned it to him. I'm like, listen, here's the thing. Here's what this is. Here's what it includes. I want you to sit down and look at the whole site and all the things and see if it works for you. And we went back and forth for a couple of days. And then finally, I just said, listen, I really think this is something that I need as a woman.
Yeah.
To be with other powerhouses and to make sure that we get where we want to go, shorter amount of time, and just, be part of something that's bigger and commit. And he was like, I said, you trust me, right? You know that I'm not going to do anything to put our family in harm's way and that I will make this worth our while. I will make this back. Yeah. And he was like, pull the trigger.
Oh,
yeah.
We love supportive husbands.
Oh my God, he's so supportive. And actually, kudos, I did make it back in one transaction.
Hey.
Because you posted about what I should have been paying the VA versus what I was. And that one little savings.
Oh, well, good.
Hit it.
Good. But now how do you go back to your husband and be like, how do you describe the retreat you were just at?
Yeah, I went back after day one, after our little cozy situation.
Oh, yeah.
There. Yeah. So I went back after that. We were supposed to go to dinner. I was like, nope, not going to dinner. Can't do it. And he's like, why? I'm like, because I'm in a different playing field right now. And I'm going to tell you about it, but it's going to come out in fragments. So kind of like when I sat for the CPA exam and I got back, he was in my world back then. And I couldn't talk to him for like 3 days. I couldn't formulate full sentences after that. So I said to him, I'll just let you in on certain things. But one of the things was that I had to call my daughter, who's the director of operations, and have a conversation with her after that awakening. And but it's been super rewarding to talk to him because he is so bored with that genre of like breath work and mind work and things like that. He's all in and all on board. So when I went home to tell him what happened and
so to give you some context for the listeners. So night one of the retreat, we had a really fun like helicopter dinner experience. And then day 2, we talked about money and wealth building and sales pages. And then I was like, okay, I think we know each other enough now where I'm like, we're going to have this really cool breathwork session.
Terrifying. I hyperventilated before we started. I was like, I don't think I can do this. And then you said what you said about it's just like hitting that wall in business and you know that it's going to be okay. You're going to push through. It's right on the other side. So stay with it. Mm-hmm. Because I was ready to retreat. I'm not going to lie. It terrified me.
I always tell people, well, I guess I don't always tell them, but here's my sneaky thing I do is like everyone sees my businesses and they're like, oh, I want to learn from her for like scaling and strategy and when I should make my next hire and all these like logical things. And I'm like, mwahaha, you think that's why you're coming, but really it's just your mindset and you're the only person that's holding you back from making the hires or delegating the things or
all the things,
charging higher prices and things like that. And so, yeah, she's talking about after breath work, she was supposed to go to dinner and she's like, no.
I couldn't. I was like, I just can't do it. But it was, and then that coupled with the first session on day 3 just made everything, it just fell fall into place.
Well, and I love that you've already like implemented some things.
Yes.
You called your daughter.
I did. And that has changed just this week by making that phone call on Tuesday night. Was that? Yeah, that was Tuesday night, right? Yeah. I made that phone call on Tuesday night. I've not had to think about anything by way of operations, emails, anything along that nature. Since then, I've been able to be here 100% present and in tune.
I love that.
So that was like absolutely huge. Yeah. And she feels so empowered
Yeah.
by the reins being completely released that she's like over the top protecting and making sure everything is right with the team. So
I feel like it was you. Did you already like get a housekeeper or something that you needed there as well?
yeah, I had a housekeeper every other week.
Okay.
And that stresses me out. I'm very type A when it comes to the house. I like everything, no clutter. Everything has to be neat, organized. And the youngest, my director, Julia, is living with us, but she's moving out. But she has a really big dog and there's hair everywhere and I'm constantly sweeping and I love the animal.
Yeah.
I love dogs so much. But like, it's a lot. And it just, I need everything clean in order, because we work from home. So I need to make sure that it's all good. So I hired her weekly. And again, I'm definitely, the other thing on my list was a personal chef.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. We love this.
Yeah. I know. You're the finger pointer. Is that what you said?
Taskmaster, as my husband calls it. He calls me the taskmaster. He's like, man, that finger's working really hard today.
Yep.
I'm like, yes. And
So,
well, you're in Florida, but you can help your clients wherever as well, right?
yes, I do have clients across the country.
So where can people find you?
Instagram is the best place, and my website.
Tell them your name on Instagram.
It's Rabecca Eunice, RABECCA-EUNIS. I know my first name is not spelled normal.
It's okay. We'll link it. We'll link it. So
Nothing
you
about
have
me
it.
that's normal. I don't think. I don't know. Crazy curly hair, spelling of my name. I don't know.
We love it all. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
being on the
much.
show.
I so appreciate it. Thank you. It's been fun.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Life Changing Money. Don't forget to subscribe, and I would love if you left a review and shared it with your friends. See you next time.